June 30th, 2006. I'd like to get a photo with you and that. The three of you.
Okay. To be the case, but I made it through, and I guess if I think back 40 years, I never thought I would have been standing here now, 40 years later, retiring, because 40 years ago the word retirement wasn't in my vocabulary. I didn't know what it was until some years later when I began to pass the age of 40, and I said, I guess I better think about the future. Of course, the federal government forces you to pay into the retirement system, more or less. It's hard to get out of it, and I'm glad I did that. As I look around the room, I certainly see a lot of people who have helped me out over the years and who have supported me. And in addition to that, the people who are here, there are some who are not here, who I could also mention. I'm sure that Don Ames doesn't have his interpreter here, because Don Ames worked for me for many years and on DFAMS, and now he's doing other things, but he certainly deserves a lot of the credit for what DFAMS is, because maybe I wish I could interpret for him, but some names that were here at the time, like Ron Cannon and Bud Zell, I'm sure there are those who remember those. They set up a lot of the stuff that's still going on, so I can't take all the credit for, and of course there are a lot of application programmers who are now working on FAST, who are sitting out here who recall the things they did back in the 80s and before on DFAMS. But I will say that working for the federal government makes you do your very best, and I think that's what I've tried to do over the years, and I hope it gets carried on over the years to come. DFAMS is still here, although it's been predicted to go away, and maybe one day, like, you know, it will. And when it's retired, I'll come back and attend that ceremony. But other than looking at the people, I didn't have a prepared speech here, so I'm just sort of winging it, as they say. But there are people here who have gotten me involved in things I would never have been involved in without their involvement. Not only did I run the Quantico Half Marathon, but I look out there and I see John Austin, and it makes me think that I took my wife to see a production of a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta, which we never would have gone to, in which I was participating. And John Austin one day asked me if I could sing, and I said, I don't know. Sometimes I think I can. Nobody else thinks I can. He said, would you like to come out and participate in this? So I went up to the rehearsals, and I participated in Iolanthe, which is not one of the, I guess, biggies of the Gilbert and Sullivan, but I was glad to be in that. And there are other things that I have been in as a result of the people who are here, but mostly it's DFAMS, I guess, that defines my career with this organization. But I can think back on the years before I came here. There was a lot going on in other places too. I see Yvette Coleman, and remember when she was working with the training part of what is it, the information assurance back in the days of Dennis Heretic, who has moved on to another government department, but he left his mark on this organization too, because that was when we first got involved with information assurance. And when I first heard, and my brother, Matthew Blaine, told me of something called critical infrastructure protection. I had never heard of that, but I found out that's what information assurance is a part of. And so we did a lot of work on DFAMS beginning in 2000. So my involvement sort of shifted into these new areas. And I have to also thank these two people I'm looking at who I brought into the organization back in the 90s, Ronaldo LaCap and Nancy Dunn, both of whom supported me as DFAMS database administrators for many years. They are now doing other things, although they remain as backups on DFAMS to some degree. And And then there are some of the newer people who came here over the years, like Frenchie and Don Smith, who've become my friends and who I worked with within the past few years. In the past year, Gail Wadsworth has become my supervisor, who came up here from San Antonio. So I'm glad to have her here as the one I say goodbye to after all the others over the years, some of whose names are not familiar here, but I think of Bob Major at the National Guard Bureau, who was younger than me, but I worked for him. I understand he has passed on since then. I think of Art Polari at Project Viable, who retired about 10 years ago. I went to his retirement here at Fort Belvoir. And I think of Roger Winters, who's not here at the moment, but who said he would be here, but I guess he didn't make it. But he was... He will be at the lunch. I see. He was the director who hired me here, who brought me on board. And otherwise, without him, I wouldn't have been here. So I thank everybody for attending. I particularly thank my brother and his wife, Diane, and my sister, Gina, and my wife, who decided to take time out from her busy day to be here with me today. And that's about all I can say, I guess. I don't want to stretch this out. I think we have to get down into the luncheon, and I know there's some other stuff going on this afternoon that some people have to attend. Okay? I'm going to send some flowers for my wife.
Director, thanks for sharing, letting us work with Mike for a few years. And guess what? DFAMS, he was correct. When I came to the agency 2.5 years ago, he told me DFAMS was going away. Remember? Yeah. He was trying to get the PKI certificate, and I said, no. You said it's going away. 2.5 years later, it's still here.
Yeah, I couldn't say when it was going away, though. I just
glad your brother told you about SIP.
Yeah, that's right. He was the first one to mention that.
It is critical instrument protection, okay. But everyone, I'd just like to remind you that there's a luncheon, 11:30, House of Dynasty. I think everyone has the directions. Please be there promptly, 11:30, okay? It's about 10 minutes from here, 10-minute ride from here, over in the Hayfield area in the shopping center about the Giant, okay? Does anyone have any quick comments?
When I got there 15 years ago, July 1st, I thought I had the oldest car in the parking lot. Mike confirmed to me that he had the oldest car. But anyway, over the years, we kind of looked out for each other's car. I needed a jump, he needed a jump. One day he jumped me, and I came back inside and sat down, and he said, I must have jumped you on film.
Vince, if you can read off. Yes. Flag of the United States of America. This is to certify that the company flag was flown over the Defense Logistics Agency headquarters complex on June 18, 2006. This flag was flown in honor of James M. Smith, J67, to commemorate his retirement after 40+ years of faithful service to the United States of America. requested by your colleagues of Information Operations, JCTEL, Directorate, staff, and the Defense Logistics Agency headquarters.
All right. Wow. That's nice.
You know, last week I was talking to Mike and Wanda, and I was told about some of Mike's interests, and found out that he's very interested in literature. He told me about music, he's an amateur musician. He has a clarinet that's older than his career.
Yeah?
And singing, writing, historian. He's just got a huge number of interests that he has going. So it's very possible he could end up with a whole nother career.
I've been trying for a long time.
Should have played the
Wanda told
clarinet,
me
man.
that you could give him any line in a poem, and he'd know the next line. I know one poem by heart. Decent. So I thought I'd test him, and I got him on it. One of the thousands that he knows that he doesn't know. So I actually got lucky. I can't remember the words of the Beatles songs. But Mike, I'm sure with all your interests, and with all that you have going for you, you're going to have a great, long, wonderful retirement. You'll have plenty to do. You'll keep yourself busy, and you'll enjoy yourself. And should anyone give you that poem again, the second line is, "All mimsy were the world."
I will go and read the whole thing. Jabberwocky, right?
Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
Now we do have a couple gifts. Mike, this is from everyone.
All right.
And there's some gift cards in here.
Take it. You want me to take it out?
You got to take it out. I'm told you have to take it out. There's something you have to do with it.
It's a cap.
I'm told you have to squeeze the horn.
All right, I'll squeeze the horn.
Now who is that
It
for?
says, "Caution, slow-moving senior." I'm sorry you couldn't wear those to meetings.
That's cute.
We hope your clarinet sounds good.
I believe so. There are a couple here who have heard it.
Yes.
These two have both heard me play. Huh? Okay.
There's more. There's more in there.
Oh, there's more?
Keep
Oh,
digging.
not at the bottom. There's more. Whoops. How to enjoy. Now this is something I really need. How to enjoy your retirement. I hope it tells me something. But I think there are some others here who can give me some advice on that, like Roger Winters. I'm sure he can tell me how to enjoy retirement.
It only gets better, Mike.
Yeah. Just don't go back to work.
There's something else in there.
Some 10 years ago, there was a retiree who was visiting us, coming back after retirement, and I asked him what was he doing in retirement. You remember this was Monique Schimmelbusch's father. What's his name?
Danny Frazier.
Danny Frazier. I asked Danny Frazier, what are you doing in retirement? He said, keeping my eye on the cola. Well, he wasn't talking about a soft drink.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be doing that too. Keeping my eye on the cola. More clue mysteries. 15 more whodunits to solve in minutes. Mystery stories, I guess, for you